Hi everyone, welcome back and thanks for clicking on this video if you're new. So what I did today is I asked my subscribers what kind of videos they would like to see. And one of them said they would like to see a video on the dating strategies that I'm doing at the moment. So I was like, oh, this is quite a good idea actually. So I thought I'd talk about dating whilst you're over 30. So obviously when you're dating over 30, it's quite different for a lot of women. Some women will have children, or some women might possibly be divorced, or you might just be single and never married. It kind of depends on a whole kind of myriad of circumstances. But I think if I just talk about it from my perspective as a single person that's unmarried and doesn't have children. So I think the first thing to say is that once women are 30, they know what they want basically. Depending on your circumstances, you might have had a few relationships. Basically, you know what you want in a man. And I think the key once you are dating over 30 is you do not want to waste time. This is the crux of dating after 30 is you do not want to hang around with time wasters. You're probably looking for Mr. Forever. You've had your maybe fun and you're really looking to settle down and you literally just do not want to waste time. As I've spoken before, for women there is the biological clock they have to think about. This is sadly why women kind of tend to get a bad rap, that they're maybe rushing things or they're keen to get into a relationship. It's because we're literally thinking like we need to get our act together if we want children. And this is why it's really difficult to date after 30 if you haven't got children. It's because it's always in the back of your mind when you're dating is that you realistically have a certain window of when to get pregnant, and it's difficult when you're dating, and men don't have that pressure. So obviously a guy can be single and he can probably be single right up to 40 and he doesn't have to think about it. So anyway, I'm probably jabbering on. So the strategies that I'm doing in my own love life personally, I made the decision a couple of months ago to completely come off online dating at all, because as a strategy it wasn't working for me. I wasn't finding serious people that seriously wanted to date, and they weren't on the same page as me. I found that men were using internet dating just as a means of validation. They weren't setting up dates, they just wanted chat, they just wanted sexual talk. And I'd kind of been online dating for a while and I just stopped doing it basically a couple of months ago. In actual fact, I've become much happier. Not focusing so much on finding someone has done me the world of good, because I've just been focusing on so many different things. I've been focusing on my health, I've been focusing on my channel, I've been even focusing on my regular job that I do. I'm getting more qualifications in my normal job. So it's not going to work for everyone, but I came off online dating completely because it was having a negative effect on me. And I found the men on it were wishy-washy and just didn't want to meet up. So it's not going to work for everyone, and it's probably controversial what I'm saying, but I think literally just concentrate on yourself and not so much on online dating. I haven't completely stopped the apps at all. I've got different videos on my channel, but I don't use Bumble, and I've just realised that I'm wearing this dress for the Bumble video. I don't use Bumble because I believe that men should message you and men should be the instigators and men should be driving the relationship. So this is why I don't use Bumble, because as I explained in the video, men are visual creatures and they're looks based, and there was no point me messaging lots of men. But if you want to watch that video, watch that video. I talk about it in more detail. So I've been concentrating on Tinder, which I talk about a lot. I did film a video on Tinder months ago where I was just ranting about it because I was getting a lot of like dick pics and stuff like that. But to be honest, I have met some really nice people off Tinder, and I think it definitely is a good way to go. It's the most popular dating app. I've tried Hinge as well. I'd hardly get any like swipes because not a lot of people were using the app, so I don't use Hinge. I use Tinder and I'll match with people. The only thing I think in terms of strategy with Tinder is that I've got a lot of pics up. I've got 6 pics up, and I've also got one where it just shows me kind of editing at my computer, so people can see that I do YouTube, and it's kind of an opener for people. They're like, oh, what's your channel about, or stuff like that. Basically, I've got a profile that is kind of engaging, so people will, guys will message me because my profile's engaging. So I think, yeah, so what I've kind of been doing is taking a back seat on dating, and because I've been taking a back seat on it and I've just been focusing on my career, I don't know if it's, you know, manifesting or whatever, but I seem to be getting more matches and more dates and stuff like that. The only thing I would say in terms of strategy is if a guy is not asking you out, you have to cut loose. I was chatting to this really nice guy and he was really nice and sweet, but the trouble was he just wasn't asking me out on a date, and it kind of fizzled that way because he wasn't showing any interest in me. He was just texting me and he didn't ask to meet up with me, so it kind of fizzled. So I would say if you're a guy watching this, in terms of strategy, definitely ask the girl out as soon as possible. As a guy, you shouldn't be afraid of asking the girl out as soon as possible. If you see kind of resistance from the girl and she's kind of pulling back and doesn't want to meet up, that is because unfortunately she does not fancy you, or she's just using you, which, like, as you say, guys can play games, girls can play games too. When I say meet up with someone, I mean physically going on a date. I don't mean like message women to, like, ask to go around the house. I mean to physically meet up in a public place. A girl shouldn't be scared of meeting you in a public place that's got lots of people. If you're texting someone and they're being a bit playing it cool and don't want to meet up, and they say stuff like, I want to get to know you a bit better, that's all well and good, but chemistry is in the flesh and it has to be sitting opposite someone on a table, and then you can tell if you've got chemistry. So I would say, yeah, definitely meet up as soon as possible on dating sites, because you only get to know someone and see if you're attracted to them in person. The only one thing I would say is I do tend to ask guys just to quickly call me on the phone maybe a couple of days before, just so I can get a feel for, you know, their conversation, the sound of their voice, stuff like that. Having a phone call with a guy before, it definitely puts my mind at ease, and it makes the date not as awkward, because I feel like I've already met the person, and it, for some reason, just chatting to a guy before a date, I don't mean like half an hour before, I mean a couple of days before, it just makes me feel more comfortable basically. So yeah, I definitely like have a phone call with a guy if you can before the date. But yeah, they're just the main dating strategies that I use really. So it's just meeting up as soon as possible, and if you're chatting to a guy and he's not pushing through to the date stage and you can feel he's just wasting time, then it's on to the next one. If a guy likes you, he will ask you out. He'll be like, oh my god, this girl is amazing, I need to go on a date with her. If you're chatting to guys that aren't feeling that energy, then you are wasting your time, and it's nothing to do with you, it's just that that guy is not that into you as a person. So yeah, just focus on other things and try not worry about dating so much. So thanks for watching everyone. I hope you liked the video. As ever, just drop me down any suggestions of what you'd like to see. Trying to create a community here, trying to help each other out. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and hopefully see you soon.